I'm just gonna assume that was a yes. Okay, so I have to share my screen for my, oh wait, I have to wait until you
Go ahead.
allow me
Yes.
to share this screen. It says host disabled participant screen sharing, so I have to wait for you to open it back up.
Okay, you should be good now. Try it.
Oh, okay, it's different options. Okay.
Got it?
Okay, so I have a PowerPoint to show in addition to my speech because I can't show you everything, I guess. So I'm trying to bring it up the way I would like it up. Okay, so can everybody see this? Okay, so my speech is going to be on natural hair, and the purpose of the speech is to teach you what natural hair is, how to style it, and how to style it based on your porosity of your hair. So, natural hair is any hair that hasn't been altered by chemicals or straightened or with relaxers. Um, at least 90% of African American women have at least straightened their hair once, which seems like a lot, but everyone hasn't used a relaxer. I know it's weird that I use this topic, but I'm quite sure you all, some maybe once in your life, wondered like, oh, why is her hair like that, or why is this so curly, or how did they get it that way? And I'll be able to tell you some things based on what I've learned. I've been natural for a little over a year now, and I used to have heat damaged hair, something you will learn about in my next slide. So heat damaged hair is when, or relaxed hair is when you see those stringy ends at the bottom, and that hair is damaged. This hair on the right hasn't been altered in any way. It has no chemicals in it that will make the hair straight or relaxed. So it doesn't have this flat looking, I guess, texture, and then it has the curly at the top because it just looks weird and it's damaging to your hair. And it's different ways you can style your natural hair. A lot of people do Bantu knots, wash and goes, or twist outs. Bantu knots are when you just twist your hair up and then you tie it into a knot, literally. I'll show you pictures on the next slide. A wash and go is as it sounds. You wash your hair and you just leave out. A lot of us do that on a daily basis anyway. And we do twist outs is just when you twist your hair and you untwist it the next day or however long you want to keep your twist in. These are some styles. This is a wash and go. This is also a wash and go. This is a Bantu knot, and this is what it will look like depending on your hair texture. You don't have to be an African American woman to do these styles. Anybody can do them. You just need to know what products work best for your hair type. Because anyone with natural hair, that means their hair hasn't been altered in any type of way. Oops, sorry. So before you even start to style your hair, you need to know what products to use. And to find out what products to use, you need to know the porosity of your hair. And that's the ability for it to absorb moisture. Low porosity is more of a compacted look. The cuticles are too tight. Normal, they're open just enough. And when it's raised, it's a high porosity. I have high porosity hair. So when I'm styling my hair, I usually have to use thick creams, anything thick, because my hair absorbs a lot of the moisture. To determine your porosity, you have to do a little test. So you would just rip a piece of your hair out your head, get a cup of water, and drop it in. Try to make sure the glass is clear so you can see through it. And once you drop it in, if it sinks quickly, you have high porosity hair. If it's like in the middle and it doesn't sink really fast, you have normal hair. And if it just floats at the top, then you have low porosity hair. So for low porosity, you want to use oils, and you want to use something to warm up your hair so the cuticles can open up. Without doing that, you won't be able to absorb. If you don't do that, your hair won't be able to absorb any of the moisture. So just sit on top, and then that's how you get product just sitting on top of your hair, and it's like white or creamy or something. You should use lightweight oils such as grape seeds, and you don't want to use coconut oil. I know in the natural hair community, coconut oil is like, oh my gosh, I love coconut oil, this, that, and the third. But if your hair has a low porosity, you cannot use it because it will just mess up your hair. You can use some medium oils, but you want to stick with the lighter oils because they're not going to be too harsh on your hair. For people that have normal porosity, they can just use whatever, basically. They just need to use lightweight shampoos and sulfate-free items, and just to continue conditioning their hair. And people with high porosity, like myself, I have to do protein treatments all the time. It's really thick products, this curly hair, and I also use this curly curl cream. When I'm styling my hair, I may use this pink lemonade and coconut oil. I mean, not coconut oil, it's a curling boosting. It's by The Mane Choice. And I also use this Camilla Rose for styling. Whenever you're styling your hair in your natural, you want to make sure you use a cream and an oil. It doesn't matter what porosity you are because you have the seal and the moisture. And you also want to use a styling gel, because if you don't, the styling gel just helps bring out your curls or just helps form the hair to settle better. You want to get your spray bottle and put in your oils and moisturize, because you don't want your hair to be dry when you're styling it unless you're doing that type of style. But if you're doing it from like a freshly washed head, you want to make sure you have your water bottle with all the products you need inside of it. There are special products for twist outs and braids and cornrows. You would use something like this because it's a beeswax and it'll keep it together. And I know a lot of people in the natural hair community say they cannot lay edges, and it's very simple to lay your edges. Even with 4C hair, you can lay them. You would just either use Eco Styling Gel. A lot of people are like, oh my gosh, they'll never do it. But you can also use an edge control. I got this one from a natural hair salon. And you just need to use this wrapping paper. You have to use the wrapping paper. You want to make sure your edges are wet, and you want to put your product on, style them as desired, and then you wrap the paper around your head. If you don't do that, then the product will start loosening up and it'll get oily, and then it won't settle in. So you also want to, when you're doing your hair, you want to be able to detangle it with a wide tooth comb. A lot of people don't use these brushes, but I do. It comes out because my hair is really thick, but you want to make sure your hair is very conditioned when you do decide to style it. And if anyone has any questions for me about natural hair, feel free to ask, because I've been doing this for a little bit now. My hair is not natural right now, so I didn't want to like contradict myself because my hair is straightened, so I have my bonnet on to cover it. But I know a lot of people wonder like what goes on in the natural hair community. And now if you see one of your friends, you can probably say, oh, hey, what's your porosity? Or you can say, I might know a product that works for you based on your hair type. So if anyone has any questions.
Okay, I guess a lot of people have tested.
Oh, I didn't see.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. How do I do this? Okay, let me.
Please open up your mics if you have any question. This is some good information that you can use for your hair.
Okay, so.
I might have one question.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Do you have to do a big chop to start your hair with being natural?
No, you don't have to do the big chop. I did the big chop because I didn't like the stringy hairs, because it's harder to do styles. You can still manipulate your hair to do certain styles, but having it all one texture makes it easier.
And so, is the products become expensive when you be natural?
Yes, they're very expensive in my opinion. The better the product is, the more expensive it is. So like this product is not really that expensive. This is probably like $8. This is probably like $12, but this brand, The Mane Choice, is very pricey. As you can see, I used most of it up, but it's good. Eco Styling Gel, everybody has this. This one's good, the flaxseed oil. As you can see, I used it all up. So